And in recent months, horse DNA was found in what was supposed to be beef products.
This is what's most controversial. Every year, thousands of live horses are fresh, raw horse meat.
You question everything about yourself. Are you really making an impact? Are you really helping animals?
Every wonderful thing that has happened, every horrible thing that has happened, it started with one person.
All it takes is one person, and then another, and another, and another.
We're not doing this for us. We're doing it for them. The truth, it's about the horses. I'm a strong believer that one person can make a difference. Together, we can make a change.
We're on our way to Outlaw Equine Rescue and Rehab in Tennessee, and I'm really looking forward to going to their organization. Tawny and I are just us. We're not bringing a film crew with us, even though we are filming for Horse Rescue Heroes Season 4. And we're doing this for a couple reasons. One, it is quite pricey to travel with a film crew, and we want to go to a lot of organizations. And one of the other main reasons is we actually want to be able to show organizations that all you need is two people to produce quality content. I've met Roxy quite a while ago. There was this lady that just kind of showed up at the auction, and she started kind of helping us and rescuing a few horses on her own. And I'm always naturally skeptical of people when they come to the auction and want to hang out with us, because it's usually not a place where supporters want to come and spend time with us. So I wasn't sure who this Roxy person was, but she seemed to be a nice person.
We actually met her at boot camp because KT's husband was supposed to come with her, and they're supposed to have the baby. And then when they lost the baby and her husband couldn't come with her, and so she came to be support for KT. So that's the first time we met her. But she's actually a long-time follower of Horse Plus. She followed us years ago when we were in California, and she sent a memory of one of the posts she shared of Horse Plus years ago. So they've been really doing a good job. They've got their social media up, they've got a TikTok channel. They're really working hard to implement what they learned. So good to see you.
Gosh, you too.
Oh. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Me too.
Awesome. Well, your place is beautiful.
Thank you. We love it here. We are very blessed to find this. Hi, I'm Roxy Hayden. I am the founder and president of Outlaw Equine Rescue and Rehab in Crossville, Tennessee.
Well, driving in, I was like, okay, so there's the house. And then driving down the little road, and then I was like, wow, this barn.
And because you're a woman, you didn't wow over the shop. That's the man's wow.
I wowed over the barn.
This is the wow right here. And when you get in, you realize it's even bigger than it looks from out here. We are primarily a horse rescue. We have also taken in other animals in need, but our goal is to rescue horses from going to the slaughter pipeline. You know, our goal also is after we adopt them or we take surrenders is to have a veterinarian look at them, get them back in health, and adopt them to loving homes, people that are so excited. And these horses get a second chance at life, and they deserve it.
Was that a selling point for you when you saw this property, or a buying point? You're like, the barn.
Yes, it definitely was, because as we know in Tennessee, rains a lot. So the plan is most of this is going to be an indoor arena.
Very nice.
Yes, so it's, but the house was remodeled, the shop was there for William.
My name is William Ogas. I am the co-founder, vice president of Outlaw Equine Rescue and Rehab. One of the good things about what we saw when we drove in is that there's a lot of room to expand, you know, and I didn't have an opportunity to walk the property at the time that we bought, but I was like, okay, we have another 34 acres that isn't developed. You know, we can do something with it. And since I've been here and able to walk the property, there's a lot of available land to use, so we're excited.
Yeah, we pretty much knew that when we saw it come up. We found it, we saw it the day before we were leaving. Wow. And then put a bid on it, closed, they accepted at 10:30 at night. We flew back to California on Monday. Once we moved here, we were inspired to start the rescue. We've always been in animals. I've worked for a veterinarian my whole life, and animals are my passion, but coming out here and seeing the need really jump-started us. We have an auction that is close by that is weekly, where horses are going through and being purchased by kill buyers and sent to Mexico and Canada to be slaughtered for no other reason except for money.
Well, I'd love to see your place and get a tour of this huge barn.
Being the founder and the president, I am very fortunate as well to have my husband, who is the co-founder and vice president, to help out.
My first auction that I went to was a few months ago. Roxy's been trying to get me to an auction for, months. And finally I took some time off and went with her. And my experience was I couldn't believe the condition of some of the horses. And from what I was told, this was a good night. This wasn't one of the bad nights. So, and I'm looking at these horses and I'm looking at sway backs and legs that are going the wrong way and, just not, you can look at the horse and know it's not right. And that kind of hit me.
In here, it looks so much bigger, I think. I mean, and we...
Oh, what is it, a 50 or 60?
It's
60 by 140.
Is that what it is?
I believe it is.
It's either that or 40. Yeah, I think 60 by 140 is what it is.
On a daily basis, what I do is in the morning I wake up and first thing I do is I come out and feed horses. Horses usually eat before I do. And I feed all the other animals as well, but make sure all the feed's situated and water situated first thing in the morning. That way everybody's good to go throughout the day. We've spent literally 8 months cleaning stuff out that they had left in here.
Every day we find garbage on the ground.
As we're going through, we find something that could be a danger. So we haven't really used it as an arena at this point because we're just trying to make sure it's safe.
Get it clean.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I've probably taken out of here probably 3 truckloads of stuff that they just left behind. And then in the fields where I'm clearing, you'll see there's just a pile of stuff that was just left behind. So it's a work in progress, definitely.
This little donkey right here, our little friend, who right now we actually have a fundraiser up on our website. Someone had posted that out on a refuge that's here in Crossville. Her husband went to go hunting for hogs and came across this little stray guy here. And he had tried to follow him home, but he wasn't gonna let him catch him. So William, Alec, my son and I went out. We took the mini with us as lure and some grain. Went out and probably took us 45 minutes to an hour to catch him.
My name is Alec Hayden. My position is kind of do what I'm told. Yeah, I'm a correctional officer at the local prison right down the road. If I'm not working or sleeping, I'll come down here, help William out, whether it's little projects Mom's got us doing.
And he was just afraid. You could tell, I mean, to us, he looked abandoned. He's very sweet. He looks to be under a year old. He's got fly strike on his ears, and he's just kind of a mess. He needs some good groceries. So we started a fundraiser for him. William's been really big on YouTube lately.
The key points from the workshop that I took revolved around what I have a passion in, and that's the video and the photography. I owned a photography business before and kind of got burnt out because I was taking photos, and I did have a passion for that. And then when I saw that at the workshop, I was like, wait a minute, the video side of it's kind of interesting to me. So I took that part when we got home, and I've, day by day been trying to do a better job with that.
Here comes Dash. Look at that. Oh my gosh, everybody's excited.
The other thing that I took from the workshop is just the passion of wanting to do this and not just doing it to help. I was before just supporting someone, and now I'm doing it because I want to help be part of the solution. Right now he's the no-name donkey. And so what we've done is we've put together a fundraiser to name the donkey. And for every $10 donated, they get to choose a name. And then next Tuesday, we're gonna put all the names in a hat from everybody that donated, and we're gonna choose the name of the donkey. And then we'll do that on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we'll have it all on there.
We thought it would be fun to interact, get our followers interacting and let them feel like they're part of it, because they are part of it to us.
I believe the biggest challenge facing our organization right now is getting people to donate to the cause and knowing that the cause is worth donating to. So we're working really hard on showing the community what we're doing and how we're doing it, so that they're willing to take their hard-earned money and give us donations to help us save the animals that we're choosing to save. One of the videos I took of him, he came right up into the video and he put his nose as I was talking about him. So he is not as shy as he's acting right now.
Nice, nice. I think your fundraising name idea is awesome. And that's something that we've been people love to be part of something like that, but it's so hard to get them to donate and suggest a name. So how are you doing that, and how has it been going for you?
First, people were offering a name and no donation. So what I'm doing is I'm going to that person and saying, remember, to get your name into the hat, it requires a $10 donation. And we have had a couple of people donate the $10 and suggest a name. So we're at $20, and we just started last night. I put the donation video up last night. I'll continue to try to get it to all the different sites daily so that people still see it. And that way, hopefully we get some more interaction.
The biggest challenge, I think, is just getting our name out there and doing fundraisers and trying to get more donations so that we can focus on expanding, so then we can accept more rescues.
Implementing the Full Circle of Life philosophy has been very positive for us because it's something that we believed in before we even heard of it. We didn't have a definition of what it was, but when we heard that, we both looked at each other and said, hey, now we have, a definition to our philosophy. And so my big thing is I wanted to get it out there in front of people as quickly as possible so that everybody knows what we stand for. And so, I built the sign out front, put our sign, put the Full Circle of Life, sign below it, so that, we're, as soon as somebody drives down the road into the driveway, they can see, what we're doing here. All right. So as you can see, it's a very small tack room, but it does keep things dry.
It looks functional.
Yes, and we have kind of tried to keep the rescue horse equipment on this side, personal equipment on this side. I don't want to cross-contaminate. Have the feed bins in here, saddle rack.
So my initial big test was when Mom and William went off to the workshop. I was going to be here for 4 days alone, just running the show.
Not only do we rescue horses, donkeys, mules, pigs, goats, llamas. Oh, tortoises.
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 We have a tortoise. We have a tortoise. Oh, hello.
Okay.
I guess he
And if
wanted
you
out.
don't know who that is,
Well, I
if
do
you
know who
don't
that
know who
is.
that is,
Yes.
that is our best friend Churro.
Aw. Churro's such an awesome donkey.
We love Churro. I would make Churro a house donkey if I could potty train him. And then behind him is Goose.
The jumper.
The jumper.
Yes.
Yeah, he came from Christian Farms
Okay.
Rescue.
Oh, he's really curious in
He's
that.
a very curious boy too. Get a Goose.
Well, I'd love to see your tortoise.
All right, let's go check him out. He's a big boy. Is he awake? Yeah, he's like 150 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
What he'll do is he'll come out of here, and they like to roam and they'll dig under the fence, and so we don't want to lose him. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually try to put an outdoor off of this stall so that we can have an outdoor portion for him to enjoy. And then what you do is you put about 18 inches of OSB or plywood so that he can't see out, because if they can't see out, then they won't dig.
Yeah.
You know, so, but if they can see out, from what we've been told, they'll dig until they die trying to get out. The changes I would like to see here is first and foremost, making room to be able to save more horses and other animals. And then with growth comes hiring so that we can actually have people here that are tasked to do a job every single day. I want to see a intake on the other side of the property so that we can take an access road down, have a barn, you know, be able to intake horses, and then keep them over on the other side of the property until we know that everything's good, and then bring them over on this side so that we can show them for adoptions.
Part of Mom's thing was eventually once we get bigger, and because right now we're kind of just trotting along, but once we start running, I know she wanted to do like a rehab for veterans and special needs, and kind of just open up the facility to the public so that we can provide those necessities that those bigger ranches and bigger rescues are doing.
I'm just laughing because she's over here making new friends.
Well, she doesn't have a choice.
Well, I do love goats.
Do you?
So.
Oh.
I think they know.
Some of my ancestors, when they came over to New York on a ship, they smuggled goats with them.
Really?
And then they got an apartment and they kept the goats in the bathtub.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I think the goats know that.
Yeah. Well, you're just so sweet. Yes,
That's
you are.
Rocket.
You're just so sweet. You want love too. Okay. All right, well, let's go check out your round pen.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so the round pen is out here. The round pen we brought with us, but we were lucky because all of this area was flat, so we didn't have to worry about
That's nice.
different footing and stuff. Obviously, it's just regular, but and you can see another pig, more llamas. So the property goes like it's the small here, and then it kind of goes out
Okay.
and far back.
So lots of expansion options.
Lots of expansion options.
I'm gonna take the tractor out right now. I'm gonna start clearing some of the underbrush that I have out there and try to get some of it up into the big pile.
So you're clearing over here,
Yes.
or William's clearing?
William's clearing.
You're not clearing?
No, I filmed the clearing.
Okay.
I'm
That sounds
not,
like a good trade-off.
I'm not that confident on the tractor yet. I moved it from there to there.
Now, the tractor is new since...
Brand new, just a couple weeks old,
Okay.
yes.
So that's new since the whole workshop?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
we definitely decided that it was more beneficial to purchase the tractor and be able to clear our own things and
Move the big hay bales.
Yes, because William was moving those on his own. We also, and we were able to, with our 501c3, get it put in the business name and tax-free.
Awesome.
So that was very exciting. That was kind of our grown-up moment, if you will. Yes. Yeah, it was very cool.
I think that we're starting to implement all the, the philosophy around it day by day, because I mean, it's work. We have to, day by day, just do a little bit more and make progress.
All of this stuff was just, and then the weeds had grown, because when we came, it was June. When we bought our house in December, but we moved in June, and the house had sat vacant, and everywhere from the front gate to here was 5 or 6 feet tall in weeds.
Roxy had a dream, and I was trying to be the good husband and come in and support her cause. But what happened is I learned that there's a need, and now I'm doing it because I'm watching these animals suffer, and I don't want to see that. So there's a need, and I want to be able to be part of the solution and not the problem.
And the goal is the creek kind of runs down this side here and comes around. So our first initial goal is to clear basically to the creek and get that to where we can start fencing, cross fencing, like I said, and getting the water.
So as I started getting into all the high trees, the little sapling trees and weeds and stuff, I found this big old pile of garbage. So now I have a big old pile of garbage and a big old pile of trees. We're gonna have to get something to haul the garbage out and stuff like that. So I want an intake barn on the back side of the property because there's an access road into it.
Nice, so quarantine all the way back
exactly.
there.
That way we do the intake on the very back side of the property, everything, and then we bring all the animals that are for adoption up front.
There you go.
Yeah, because we've used our round pen as a quarantine area because it is separate completely. We didn't have the other animals roaming around when we did it, but it would be nice to have a separate area. But as you know, work in progress.
Oh yeah. So do you have personal horses mixed in with your rescue horses, or what is it?
No, we try to keep them separate, especially because even after quarantine, we don't have any history on these horses. So not only medical history, but we don't want anything happening with ours. Our herd is very cohesive. I wouldn't want one to come in and then somebody get injured. Obviously, there's a risk of that, but we just decided it was easier to have all the rescue surrenders over on this side, and the hay hats make such a big difference because they don't have to fight over hay, I believe is, the biggest thing. But it comes in handy, when we're showing people this is what we have to offer and these are the horses that we have.
So before you dive into your history, I would love to just sit down and just take our time and go through it. Because I know you came to boot camp with KT to support her. You were KT's adopter, and then I found out you were following us from years ago in California. So is there a spot we can just sit down and I want to hear your history?
Yes, we'll go back in the barn in case it decides to rain.
Sounds good.
All right, wonderful.
So thanks so much for the tour. What does your day look like here?
I am usually trying to do social media, website, trying to learn MailChimp so that we working and posting and interacting with our followers.
So I'm really excited to find out what was the passion behind creating this organization. And I know you've adopted horses from KT and you were following us on Facebook when we were in California years ago. And what kind of created all of this?
We had talked about moving to other states with family. Our friends had come out to look here. They were going to move out to the east part of the state, and we took a trip out in December of 21 to check out the area. We drove around 1,300 miles in a week on this whole side of the state and fell in love with Crossville. It reminds me very much of our town back in California. I had been following y'all for years and years. I always tell everybody, they were NorCal equine. So after we moved here was when you did last year's boot camp. And it happened to be that KT was here, and then decided to come and see her because I hadn't got to see her, and it happened to be when y'all were filming.
And you coming was a huge support to her because she had just been through so much and lost her baby, and she still came even though her husband couldn't be with her. So
she's so amazing. When we were in California, we were only an hour and a half from KT's place, Rock and KT Redemption. We were in California and she's in Reno, and we're right on the border. And I had been on Facebook and something popped up about her rescue, so I started following her. She reached out to me when she was pregnant. She had taken in this cute little beautiful sorrel 2-year-old, at the feedlot, ready to be transferred, and reached out and asked if I would take her.
So the workshop was amazing, and I got to know you a little bit more there, but how's it been since the workshop? Did you find it useful? Are you implementing some of these things that you learned there?
I can't even tell you how amazing the workshop was. Luckily, William and I are very compatible as far as back and forth, and so he got a lot of information more on the media side, and meeting all those different rescues. I think that to me was mind-blowing. I think after the workshop, everything in our brains just clicked and it just blew up. Every day we get new followers and new donators, and we're just in heaven. I mean, that's our goal right now. Is, of course, we're small. We started in, I think, January 26th, I filled out the paperwork of this year. I mean, even then, I follow you guys and I watched all the Horse Rescue Heroes, and so there was so much information on there that I was implementing already.
So there have been challenges that you've faced since the workshop, and how are you encountering them?
I think, as always, the biggest challenge is getting donations. Times are tough for a lot of people, and they want to do the right thing. And we try to encourage our subscribers. $5 is better than no dollars.
It makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference. I think that people tend to get wrapped up in, if they can't donate 50, 100 or more, that they're embarrassed to donate. So we're going back, I think, to implementing maybe $2 Tuesdays, $5 Fridays, so that people feel that that every dollar counts.
So compassion fatigue is real. And it's something that organizations, they start off in, they're super excited, they're gung-ho, they get over capacity, there's not enough donations, it becomes a constant struggle. How do you see yourself combating compassion fatigue?
Well, since we moved here and I have a Jeep, I have hooked up with some wonderful Jeeping ladies, been to a couple rallies, been on a trail. I'm still a little nervous because I don't want to wreck my Jeep, but that was a good step away from animals. And then we also have kayaks. We like to go kayaking. We go out to dinner, those type of things.
You're getting a job now too.
Yes.
So how does what's your day going to look like with that happening?
It's going to be an adjustment. I've been fortunate to where I was able to stay home with my children, raise them, be able to, stay and focus everything on the rescue. But my job, luckily, it's at a small animal veterinarian, so I'm excited about that because I've always worked in the veterinary field. Eventually, my goal is to hopefully just be part-time at the vet so that I make sure I'm not run ragged, but I'm excited to go back to work too.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. What is your goal going forward, and do you see yourself continuing to be a Full Circle Life horse shelter even after this summer?
Our goal going forward is to stay on the track that we're on. Definitely, we will always be a Full Circle of Life shelter. Even if we didn't have our nice sign out there that says we are, that is what we believe into our core. So going forward is just upping our game every day, being able to get it out there more, being able for people to understand that what's going on out there and what options there are.
If we did have you come to boot camp, then why should we choose you for the $15,000? And if you did get it, what would you use it for?
Well, if we were fortunate enough to go to boot camp, first of all, that right there would be so exciting. I mean, we were excited to go to the workshop. If we got to go to boot camp and knowing how much we could gain and learn from that, right there, we would be in heaven. But of course, it would exceed our expectations if we won the grant, because our vision is big, and our vision is to clear more property, put up fences, get panels to where we can rotate, have a separate intake for quarantine. This is a complete dream come true that I didn't even know was my dream.
So I think the filming is going really well. Just the two of us. Jason's doing almost all of the hard work. He's got the audio, he's got the camera, but so far I think it's working good. So hopefully we can replicate this not only here, but at other organizations as well.
So this is Kissy. Right now she's wearing a fly mask they can actually see through, but I'll take it off so you can see her cute face. She is blind in her right eye, so she can see us here. But from what I heard, she was blind for years, so she's gotten accustomed to it. Her story is there was a gal here in Crossville, an older woman, and she passed away and she had 14 horses. So her adult children tried to do what they thought was the right thing, post on social media that they need to find homes for them. She was rehomed about 6 months ago. The lady thought she had vetted them well. And then lo and behold, the last month, I think it was, we were at auction and she came through. She's papered, she's bred to the gills, and emaciated. I heard the person that I knew his name on the paperwork and reached out to the owner, and what ended up happening, which is unfortunate, which is where we are educating people, is she thought she had found a good home. She sent her that home, sent her papers with her. Well, she's 21 years old. They sent her at 20 and the people just wanted to breed her, but of course did not tell them that. So the story is that the vet said, no, she's a maiden mare, she's never been bred. So when they couldn't breed her, they gave her to someone else. And then that person took her to the auction. And while at that auction is the one we heard her name go through, unfortunately, we at the time were not in a position to be able to adopt her. So a horse trader actually bought her. Horse traders are pretty prevalent here in Tennessee, and they like to convince people that they're just good old boys selling horses. From what I've seen, they are not. They get one horse at the auction, they take it to the next auction, and if they don't sell it, then it goes on the truck for slaughter. They try to sell the horses online and convince you that they've owned this horse its whole life and they know the story. Well, we knew her story. So we were able to secure the funds and get her from him before she had to go through her second auction. When we went to pick her up and I went into the pens in the back, I was crying. She had, the look on her face was devastation, and she had given up on life. She was sure that nothing good was coming of what was going on. She was super skinny. She's gained a little bit of weight. Her feet were a mess. And I saw pictures of her 6 months ago. She had probably lost 400 pounds and not had any of her feet done. And from what I understand, the original owner, all the horses were born and raised on that property and been there the whole life. And it had to have been so scary for her. So a person thinking they're doing right, this horse went through 2 different homes and 2 different auctions before she landed here, where we're trying to make her understand that it is safe here.
When we first got her, there was rain rot all on the top side right here, and it was just scabs, and just, we had to do some cleaning up. We, got it cleared up a lot.
It's been really great being here at Outlaw Equine Rescue and Rehab. They've got so much potential here at their organization, a passion and love for horses and all animals. It's been great seeing their facility and seeing the passion they have for their organization and the animals they rescue. We're going to have to be hitting the road and figuring out which organization we're going to be going to next. She's got you busy for years out here.
Oh, I'm telling you, building hay huts, clearing land, I'm probably going to
bringing in more animals, kittens.
I think I'm going to end up probably building a bigger tack room too along the way.
Probably in the long run.
Well, I think I'd like to have the feed separate from the tack. But right now,
that's what it's all about
safe.
though. I mean, I figure I have another 30, 40 years of life. I think I'm going to be working until the day I die.
There you go. there you go.
He's so optimistic.
Well, we're just pulling out, and I think the filming went great.
Yeah, no.
It's exhausting.
It was great.
Trying to do everything, like the audio, the video, try to keep up with the script, do all the interview questions. It was exhausting.
But I think they're just such a great organization, and I think it's really good that we opened up this year to allow brand new organizations to sign up.
Oh, yeah.
Because now they know about compassion fatigue. They don't have to learn about it once they're burnt out.
And they're able to actually express intellectually, because we talked to them quite a bit about that in the interviews, is what is your plan for recognizing compassion fatigue? How do you plan on combating, getting it and not getting burned out? And they were able to express really positive thoughts, I thought, about how to deal with compassion fatigue in both yourself and other people.
Yeah, no, I think it's crucial training, and it's great to see the potential they have.
Well, I think Outlaw Equine Rescue and Rehab is doing a really good job in their community. And I don't know for sure if they're going to be the winner, because there's a lot of other organizations we're going to travel.
There's a lot of other organizations we've got to go to, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see what the other organizations are doing.
So where to next?
That is the question.